this. So glad to see everyone. Welcome, 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 and hello to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I'm your host, Ayanna Smith, and I help people make and save money in a tax-free manner. And I help people in a number of ways. I help them with final expense. I help them with long-term care insurance, life insurance. Of course, it's all one in the same vehicles, but you want to make sure that you have that so that it's not only life insurance but it's love insurance. So we want to make sure that we will be right back to get into our talk for the evening. Well, hello, hello. We are back with Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I'm your host. Of course, we had seemingly some technical difficulties going on, but hey, you know what? We don't let the show stop us at all. We continue to move and grow. So, welcome back, everybody, to the broadcast. So glad that you could make it, tune in, and just do what you do. So, this is the thing. It's pre, it's pre financial literacy awareness month. April is financial literacy awareness month. So this is something that I put in the post. If you had questions, if you had comments, if you had some things that you wanted to talk about going into the month of April, I am open to hear your questions, hear your feedback, hear anything you'd like to share, something that you would like to know about in the financial arena. As I share, I am a financial professional. I help people in the space of, I'm in the long term, basically the long term savings space where I help people through that vehicle and strategy of life insurance so that they can make sure they are covered. Because here's the thing, life insurance is actually love insurance. And it gives you the love that you need when you need it, if you get too sick, and it gives you the love that your family needs if something happens to you and you pass away. And also, it can also, big thing, bill for retirement, bill for children's college funds, build for real estate investments down the road. It's just those long term strategies that many of the Fortune 500 and 100 companies are built upon, very strong in the strength of life insurance. So, life insurance in some communities we know are almost like bad words, but they are not bad words when it comes to the solidarity of building money and growing money over and over long term. So, in that long term stretch, it is something to have in your portfolio, something to have in your arsenal. It really, I look at it like this. You don't want to just eat ice cream all the time. You don't want to just eat meat all the time. You don't want to just eat vegetables all the time. Some people like to mix it all up and have a balanced plate, right? Okay, so let's jump right in. So as I was saying, when we're looking at our Money talk for this evening. We're getting into the life, well, not life insurance only, but the literacy awareness month, which is April. So let's jump in. And I had an article that I like to talk from pulling some things and some articles and some ideas to help us to get some financial literacy month ideas together. And hey, I went to looking up National Today, and that article basically, of course, I always look up each month. So what is celebrated? Of course, what's related to money is celebrated. And what's celebrated is National Financial Literacy Month. And basically, it's a great opportunity for us to check in and do a checkup. Because sometimes when we don't do a checkup, it's just like going to the doctor or going to the dentist, making sure that we get a checkup each year, making sure that we are on point and that everything is what it needs to be. So just consider, if you consider yourself illiterate in financial terms, you say, I don't know a thing about it. You have to tell me everything, but that's okay. Then we go from there. But if it's something that you want to learn more about, we can go from there too. So wherever you are on your financial continuum, wherever you are on the timeline, it's okay. We can talk and have a conversation, but the main thing we want to do is make sure that you have proper coverage and that you are covered. If you get sick, live too long, die too soon, you're covered, and that your family is covered. Because there's so many statistics out here now that people are really going through, really having problems with critical, chronic, and terminal illnesses, or don't even have money to put them in the ground to bury them or cremate them, whatever their selection is. And it's really disheartening. It's really heartbreaking. So we want to make sure that we not only take care of that, but we look at some basic things like we've been doing when we talked about how the savvy women and men handle their money. This just goes right along with that and it blends all together. So here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you just started earning money or if you've been earning money a long time. Every day is a chance to reflect upon where you are and where you want to be. So it's about thinking about improving the finances, improving your spending habits, getting a plan together so that you can move forward and elevate. And when I say elevate, meaning add more money to your bottom line so you will have more money to work with over time, so that you can put more money back in to save so that you can invest for yourself, whether short-term investments, long-term investments. You want to have something to invest while you, of course, are living from day to day, because we do have to have that, what I call that livable money. You have to have that pot of money that we can't drain everything where we don't even have anything to live off. So let me give you some background on basically the Financial Literacy Month and when it was first started. It was like recognized in April 2004. So just given that it was done to highlight the importance of being financially independent or financially literate, let's say that. And when we talk about being literate, of course we know that we are oftentimes analogize it to reading, but we don't just want to be able to read. And hello, Troy. How you doing? We don't just want to be able to read books. We want to be able to read our numbers and make sense of what they are talking about. So just to give a background, I like to give a little history. It says it originated from Youth Literacy Day. Of course, that's one thing that we're going to look at. We need to really push for the literacy of financial awareness to be pushed in our schools, because so many things are pushed in the schools, but sometimes that's not one of them. And we graduate from high school and then we are out there in the workforce, military, what have you, and don't have a clue on what to do other than, hey, I'm making a check and I'm going to spend it. And we're not looking at how to allocate anything and put anything together. So the backdrop, as I said, it came from the National Endowment for Financial Education, which is called the NEFE. And it was an activity that was a part of a high school program. But in 2003, it said it grew, it had Congress support. And so it was during the time in the days of when President George W. Bush was in office, and he declared April as the month of financial literacy. Okay, so April, it has done that. And so, of course, with those things being in place, we want to look at how we can push forward in financial literacy month and push beyond that. Okay, we want to push beyond making sure that we are doing the things that we need to do to get our financial literacy up and moving. Okay, so we want to look at, since there are several components of financial literacy, which include, here are the things that we've been talking about and putting all together. Earning, so we want to make sure that we're earning our money, of course, but then we want to look at how we spend it, where we spend it, what we spend it on, how we save it. Where are we saving it? Because there are pots that I often talk about. There are pots of places that you need to save your money. Of course, in your bank where you have that liquid money, you can go pull it out if you need to. You have a flat tire, what have you. That's your credit card, so to speak. You have enough money saved up to do that, to take care of those things. And then your money for investing. People are invest in short-term strategies. They're investing in long-term strategies. They're investing in taxable strategies. They're investing in non-taxable strategies. And that's why it's good to talk to a financial professional so that we can sit down and help you to determine what part of that balanced meal you need to have the recommendation to put your money forward. It's about the recommendations, and it's not always say it's not a one size fits all. It's a one size fits you. So that's why we need to just sit down and talk, because everybody can't put their monies in the same place and be as successful as they need to be, because everybody is not on the same, like say, not on the doesn't have a deal in the same cards, right? So then we want to look at the next few components, borrowing. So sometimes you have to borrow money in order to make money, but that's a whole different lane within itself, because it still has to be strategic. There has to be a plan. Even thinking about, we got money, different businesses have gotten money from the government and all that. It's still a certain plan that needed to happen with that, so that the money could be effective in how it was utilized. And then if it comes to the point where it has to be paid back, you can account for each piece of it. Each piece of money had a place, let's say that. And then protecting. And protecting is the major thing that we're always talking about, or at least I like to talk about. When you have that insurance, you are protecting yourself. It's not about just having the coverage only. If you just need a few $1,000s to make sure that you are covered and protected to be buried, we can handle that. But if you're looking at that proper protection, you want to look at the whole picture. I had a client recently that said, "Hey, how do?" As we were getting into it, I love that they asked the question, because that is something that I get into when I talk with people. How much insurance do I need? What is basically they were asking me, what's the formula? And most of the time, I mean, people have different formulas or different way they present their formulas. But my whole thing in proper protection, which goes into this financial literacy piece, is making sure that if you passed away or if you got too sick, you have enough to take care. If you have a home, you can pay that off. If you have children that you want to send to college, you can pay for that. If you cannot work for months on end, that's taken care of. You have your mortgage to deal with, like I said, your income. You want to make sure if you pass away, you are, or the breadwinner of the home passes away, that families have, on a rule of thumb, not always exhaustive, but on a rule of thumb, 10 times that person's salary of the breadwinner. And when people are looking for strategies, they say, "Oh, wow, I didn't realize that we needed to start there." I say, yeah, but the thing is, we have to start somewhere. We can build up, or we can just do the whole enchilada from the beginning. But it's all about knowing how much we need to be properly protected, not just enough to put us in the ground if we can go all the way to the top with it. And so that's what we do by that, protecting. So those 7 keys of making sure that the components, that's what are the 3 components of financial literacy? We're going to say there are 7 components of financial literacy, which include, again, earning, spending, saving, investing, borrowing, and protecting. So that's those components there. Now, what does it mean? What does financial literacy mean, you ask? By financial literacy, we mean that's the ability to use financial skills, and it includes personal financial management, investing, and budgeting. Now, I don't sit down and really show people how to do their budgets, but what I do help people in that vein of that financial literacy piece is training and showing people, okay, this is what you have going out, this is what you have coming in, which hits that bottom line of what we call disposable income. Then that lets us know how we can recommend, how we can help out people in the space of making sure that you're properly covered, you're properly protected, and that you have something that is going to give you not only a death benefit, but something that will help you if you fell into a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, if you fell into that mode. I was talking to a friend the other day who works with helping clients when families have to put loved ones in the nursing home. And that's a piece, it's always a talk that's near and dear to my heart, because oftentimes we're not as prepared as we think we are if and it goes into the financial literacy, we're not trying to be morbid, but we need to be aware that we all at some point in time may get sick and have to go into some type of long-term care, or someone has to come in to care for us because we cannot care for ourselves. And the biggest way to prevent any catastrophes like that from happening is to have some things in place like your long-term care and your living benefits and things of that nature that will help us to bridge that gap. So that's a piece of financial literacy that we need to talk about early, especially when we are between the ages of 19 and let's say 64 or so. That age group, all that age group is really hanging out there, uncovered, unprotected, and unless those things are put in place when you talk to a financial professional to help you get those things in place, to help you see if you qualify for those things so you can have it. It's really something. And I want to ask you a quick question. Uh, is it more important, since we're mandated to have car insurance, is it more important? Is the car more important? I would say this, or are people more important? And sometimes we shy away and we think, but I have to insure my car. Correct. I have to go to work. Correct. I have to move around, get up and down the road. Correct. But if our bodies aren't ready, if our bodies are on the slow side and we need care and we don't have it, then we probably should have sought out some type of protection. So that's just something to think about. And of course, like I said, if you have any questions, please shoot them to me. Please reach out and send me the questions because we want to have meaningful conversations about this financial literacy piece. What are you, and you can send it to me anonymously. Isn't it amazing? So you don't have to expose yourself if you really have an apprehension about, I don't really know about that. I want to know more. Yes, we're here to know more, learn more, and grow together. All right. So the next thing we're looking at is this. By financial literacy, we mean the availability to effectively use financial skills. It includes personal management, personal financial management, investing. So we want to be able to invest in appropriate things. We want to know that when we invest in something, if we are investing in different type of currencies and things like that, what are the tax ramifications? Even if some of us have noticed, if we use certain money apps where we're sending money to people or money is being received by us, if we notice now we're getting hit in that taxation mode. It's perceived as income, no matter who sends it or what. It's money extracted because the government is going to tax us, and we're going to have to pay taxes on everything. So we have to be mindful and monitor that on how we even transfer money. It's going. We're going to we're going to we're going to have to pay Uncle Sam. We're all cousins by Uncle Sam. Let's just say it like that. Not it's not a bash. It's for real. We're all going to have to pay. And then third, budgeting. So like I said, making sure that the budget, we're aware of what we're spending. I sit down with some clients sometimes and they say, well, I don't know about putting that much money away. Oh my goodness, woo, heart palpitations. Okay, that means that of course we have to have a mind shift, a mindset shift, because if we look at where we spend our money and how we sometimes drive by, I say it many times, we drive by our favorite donut shop, coffee shop, whatever it might be, and we take the time to go and we're spending three, four, five, six, sometimes $7 a day, 5 times a week, multiplication adds up quickly, doesn't it? And so therefore we have the funds that we could put toward ourselves. As again I said, is the car worth more or are we worth more? Right. So we have to make sure that we cover ourselves just as we are covering our phones and our cars and our homes with insurance. We need to insure ourselves, the greatest commodity, because those things can't run and move without us, can they? Absolutely not. And so then as we're coming into a close, what are the variables of financial literacy? Now, I would say the main variables, meaning that things that can take an effect on how a financial plan will work for you, and you is based on your gender, your age, your occupation, and your marital status, your educational level, and then just that individual's income or the couple's income. You have to look at all those things. Those things play in key factors because you want to make sure that you are looking at it in a comprehensive way. That's why I always say with financial literacy, it's about, of course, learning and understanding what it is from little kids all the way up. But as we know, as you continue to grow, get older, things change. Just like in our health, things change. What we needed yesterday to make our household move and work is not what we need tomorrow. As we continue to grow, we may get bigger homes or we may downsize. It depends on what decade we are in our lives, how we want to move forward, how we persevering to get better jobs or make more money or go into the entrepreneurship full time. Are we going from a five-figure a month income to a six, seven-figure a month income? How does that look? How does that look where it comes into paying taxes? How does that look in how we're saving our money to the side to take care of those taxes? When we're jumping from a W 2 employee to a 1099 to a full entrepreneur where we're taking care of everything and making sure that all things are taken care of when it comes to the health care and the health insurance and the life insurance. We have to take care of the whole kit and caboodle when you're looking at the entrepreneurial side. So it's all about that and that mindset and thinking forward on where am I wanting to be. Everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur, and we know that, and everybody is not going to be a W two. I know some people who have never really worked a W two. They have always been full entrepreneurs and doing their thing in that space. Therefore, it's a different mindset. And then there's some who blend both. I blend both. We blend it all together and make it work. But it's all about becoming literate as we are younger and younger. Now, have I known, and I think some people probably would agree who are listening, had you known some of the things that you know now back when you were in, just say in high school, 18 years old, if you just had known those things, wouldn't it have served you better on how you thought about money? Now, I know we have youth on our side and we don't think anything is going to happen to us. And I was really like, oh, yeah, okay, save this, save that. When I was in college, I'll share the story, and I've shared it a few times because it is a story that is so truthful. If I had saved, I would say this before I preface it with this. If I had just saved $1 from just say 20 years ago, each day save $1, then hey, without even putting the money in the bank, it still would have added up, would it have not? Yeah, because whatever you collect together will add up. But whatever you collect, but know this and take this nugget. Whatever you collect together, and then you learn where to put it in a vehicle that is going to make more money while you don't have to do any extra with it other than put it in that particular strategy. That's just like wow, sleep money. It's making money while you're sleeping, but you have to put it in a vehicle that's going to help you to make it. Now, I was actually talking to some students, and they said, "Well, what? I have some money," and I said, "Well, listen, you can have money, but you have to know where to put it because if you just say, I just have it with me, what is it doing? It's not doing anything. It's not growing." I said, then if you put it in the bank, you might make one penny on it because the interest rates are so low. It's not much. It's about that multiplication, that simple math. It's not making much money because it's not doing much for you. But if you can place your money in areas where you have some aggressive growth, some middle growth, little less growth, it'll all balance each other out over time. But you have to sit down and talk to somebody about it so that they can help you get your money in the appropriate strategies. There are some amazing strategies out here. There are long-term strategies that can just, yeah, blow the roof off of how we can pull money to the side for ourselves. But that's where you get to that when you talk about how to get a plan in place, and you talk to a professional, a licensed professional money person. I'll say that. So as we go, listen, I want you to say this as we're going in. So we're wrapping up. How to observe Financial Literacy Month. Now, of course, we're going to talk about some of that, and how about we probably will go into that more on the next time. But here's the thing: since we have been in this pandemic, since we've been in the pandemic, let's get our minds shifted and take a pledge that we are going to observe Financial Literacy Month by renewing our attitude towards our finances. Can we do that? Can we commit to say we're going to renew our attitude toward our finances? And so this is what we're going to do. Think about a way, if you can commit to change the way you make a financial decision. Meaning this, as we close, do you make financial decisions based on emotion? Do you just buy on impulse? You know how you're in the grocery store or wherever you are, and it's convenience store, what have you, and there's always candy and gum and all those things like that, all lined up at the register. So as you're waiting in line, I think they're slow on purpose, so you can pick up some candy or gum or chips or what have you. That's that final spin. You may not have even thought about those things going into the store. You may have just said, I need to run and get me some eggs and milk and some bacon maybe. But by the time you get ready to check out, you'll see the gum, the candy, the mints. How many? Yeah, you've seen that. Me too. And sometimes you say, hey, you know what? I just get this gum. Oh, I hadn't seen that gum before. Oh, there's a candy bar. All those things. It's the spin down. It's the final countdown, so you can put in those final $4 or $5 that you hadn't planned on spending when you went to run in the store and run right out. So let's even start right there. That's the first commitment, and we'll get into more of these talks throughout the month. But I wanted to just give an overview so that this is the end of one month going into April, which is Financial Literacy Month. I want to give you some things to think about, and we're going to commit to changing the way we make financial decisions and taking that pledge to change our decisions so it can benefit us more in the future. And our future is now. So this is Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I help people make and save money in that tax-free way. But I tell you, I'll do it in several ways. Help you with the final expense, help you with the life insurance on the long-term care side, as well as living benefits. And we want to make sure that we also help people with their retirement, tax-free strategies, and also build money for children's college and in real estate investments and things of that nature down the road. And please make sure that you connect with me, of course, with www.askayanna.com. Connect with me, and I'm on all social media outlets where we're looking at on IG, Facebook page, and just know that it is also we're streaming to YouTube. So make sure that you connect with me on YouTube at the Ayanna Smith and subscribe to my YouTube channel there so that you can always know that hit the notification button so that you will know when we're streaming live and sharing pertinent information that's going to help you grow and learn how to build up your money. So we're excited to have you. I'm ready to kick off this month. I wanted to start out this way to kick off the month of April going in. So if you have questions, comments, please make sure that you ask your questions, send them to me so that we can talk about them as we go through the month of financial literacy. So this is Ayanna Smith, and I want you to have a great one. Don't forget, your money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. So make sure that you have a great, great evening, and we will see you soon.